Naked author, Jason William Mitchiner, Galbraith, greatest author of my generation, GAOMG, just recovering from a major heart surgery, very glad to still be alive. While I was recovering, I was watching the Paris Olympics and everything, and saw some amazing stories and everything, and just thought of like some of the things that I've gone through in my childhood, and looking at, coming from foster care and all that type of stuff, and always thankful when I get haters that throw stuff at me on social media that are no idea why they're throwing hate on me for writing books, which hurts nobody, and it's only to entertain the world with writing. And everything that I do on the internet, from scuba diving, surfing, fighting, that's all free content, again, to entertain. That anybody that hates on that just needs to go in the mirror and look at themselves and repeat that they are a giant asshole, the biggest asshole in the world. So when I look at adopted children, it says that, right here, you can Google it. It's this doctor, 16% out of 500 serial killers were an overly large representation of serial killers compared to 2 to 3% of the regular population of serial killers. And they say that's because serial killers from adopted suffered intolerable childhood emotional abuse, severe neglect, and multiple placements, as well as other traumatic childhood, trauma. So when you look at all of that, and I get all the haters, I'm like, hey, at least I'm an author, and I didn't become a serial killer, right? And kill the haters and their entire family. That's like my joke. But when I was watching the Paris Olympics, I did see this guy, Kung Fu Kenny. Did you see this dude? Kung Fu Kenny. He comes from foster care as well. And his story is so cool. He has a fraternal twin brother, and they're both adopted by their mother, Mary. And it's such a cool story. And like what he's done, this is just a beautiful person, inside and out. And just turning like all the negativity of being in foster care and everything into positivity. And I mean, essentially, what I've done, and I was trying to do this really before, and I wrote to... back in the day, before I had cancer, I wrote to some of the places that I was in foster care. I was in this one shelter called Harbor House in New Jersey. Before I got placed with a foster care parent, you're kind of like put into the system. And I wrote to them, when I was successful at Gannett, making over 6 figures and writing my books and stuff like that. I wrote to them and I said, I would like to do something positive for the kids at Harbor House, perhaps speak to them of my experiences with writing and doing MMA, turning it into positives, with becoming a successful business person at Gannett. And then I also wrote, I can bring in my professional coach that trained the current UFC champ, middleweight Frankie Edgar. My coach's name is Rob Greeno at Rhino Fight Team, and he can speak to the kids. I can also do myself live sparring, in front of the kids, if I could do that to entertain them. And then they got back to me, Jason, I got your first email, trying to get back to you with when we could do that and what would be appropriate. Due to confidentiality, it's hard to do that if you're going to speak in a shelter. And then I try to set this up with a public library and getting that all set up. And it looks like I was just about to be able to set it up. And this took place all in June 2011. And then I got cancer. So I was trying to set this up where I could speak to kids that went through similar situations that I did before I got cancer, and then that, you know, changed everything. And then of course I lost my 6-figure jobs and everything like that, and you know, life took a big turn. But what Kung Fu Kenny has done is really taken all those type of negatives and turned them into positives. And that's essentially, you know, what I've done as well, is I took all the negativity in my life when I was in foster care. And I mean, I wrote, it's free, you know, like nobody could take that away from me. Take a pencil and just write down my feelings and all that type of stuff. And athletics, you know, prison push-ups, all that type of stuff, you know, sprint, and I could get stronger than everybody else, faster than everybody else. And, you know, I could excel. And that's why I was better at MMA at almost 40, you know, I could knock out opponents like half my age. So it just turned all of my negativity into positivity, and Kung Fu Kenny has done that as well. And it was just such a great story, you know, for the Olympics. And the LA 28 Olympics are coming, and I really hope Kung Fu Kenny's there. And, you know, I'll be there as well, bro. So anyway, just really cool that some people from foster care don't turn into serial killers. Although some of those haters on social media, what the F? Going after authors? Dude, that's like going after like a crossing walk guard or something. Oh, man. Cheers.